All right, here we go. Deep drop, summer issues, things that you see or experiencing that we've seen happen. Now, as we're talking about it, or you're looking at what we have here, this is our upgraded deep drop rig, okay? This is the standard deep drop snap swivel, which really is the equivalent of a sailfish snap. It's on most every deep drop rig that is made or even you can purchase in a store is this style. The reason we actually liked this style is because it's actually a stronger swivel. You can take a look at how many turns it is. The quality of this non-ball bearing swivel is very good. This is our new one, twice the size, and there's reasons behind it. And we're going to talk about that in this film. Nick?
Hit me with it.
Have you ever come up and your snap swivel is open on a deep drop rig?
A lot.
You have.
Most of the time my lead's still on it though.
Correct. Losing a lead on a deep drop and coming up with an open snap is kind of odd. And to be fully transparent, right? So Jack Carlson from Two Conks calls me and says, hey, I had one of your deep drops, snap swivels, I lost the lead.
Yep.
And I came up and the lead was completely gone. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, it happened to you once, not on our rig, you were doing it on your own rig.
Correct.
When I was on the concrete machine, I caught so many fish with this. Once in a while, yes, my snap would come up like that, but the lead was generally on there.
95% of the time I feel like my lead always comes back.
Now, correct. I said to Jack, where were you fishing? How deep were you fishing where the lead opened, the snap opened up and the lead was really, I go, gotta be hard ass bottom. Gotta be hard. You're not sinking into the mud opening a snap swivel. Ain't happening. Not really, because there's not that much torque on this swivel. So if you think about this lead traveling down, right? Think about it for a second. So if you're looking close at that, put that down somewhere. Don't hurt yourself. If you think about this traveling down, hitting the bottom with such force that at some point it's going to open the swivel, and I'm thinking, how is this happening, right? You and I are freaking going, we got to figure this out. The tang on the swivel, okay, gets caught inside the actual ring. I'm going to take this one off for now. So that sucker's getting caught inside, and the actual brass tubing here with the tang of the swivel. Now that's a tang. You might have to come in and see it, Jeffrey. I'm going to be right here, a little point. That little piece that you think, oh, the longer the better, because that's what we kind of thought. They actually make in dredge fishing something called the long tang swivel. And it has this closure piece right here on the tip, the one that can cut you. That is what is getting caught on the inside of the brass. This is brass, right?
Yep.
The tubing, as it goes inside of it and then pulls back up. It's popping and opening. So that tag is getting caught. Because the bottom is hard, it's going in with such force, and when you pull it back up, it just popped it open, just like that. Show that a couple times because it just happened. The longer the tang on the swivel, not just this swivel, any swivel, needs to go inside, and then you go and lose your lead. That's the essence of it. Now, when you did it and you figured that out, talk about, I called you.
Yeah.
I called you, and I said, I'm fishing with the boys on the SME. And you sold them this swivel, snap swivel. And you figured out why this snap swivel was the right one. Explain it.
So the tang that comes over is even.
Okay, let's hold it up so that can really get it.
So you have your barrel wraps up high,
Yes.
and then your tang is the same exact length as the tag end on the barrels, so it can't, nothing can push on
Nothing sticks out.
it. Nothing sticks out.
So that little
Where's that?
piece, yep.
Close it.
Yep. So I'll hold it there.
You have that sticking out on this one.
Yes.
Does it stick out a little bit? Yes,
Not enough.
but half the distance of this.
Yes.
So your chances of it opening are half,
Right.
as much as this one.
Guys, we sat here at the shop doing this, and we're like scratching our head about how that was really opening until we just popped one open. Now we're used to actually how it works, and you saw it open, the frickin' snap open. Now, again, if we were going to make an upgrade, obviously this is a very good snap. We needed to make an upgrade. It's not about the snap. This is a sailfish snap. This is a mahi snap. This is a 30-pound snap. Not really a deep drop. So we switched to something a little heavier duty, which the guys down there at Two Conks, and I keep saying that because those guys fish for frickin' bottom fish.
Yep.
They catch a lot of bottom stuff. So they fine-tune stuff. They're going to point out flaws or things. So when we look at this and there's not that tang to hang out to get caught up in there to open this, we had to make the change. Monumental for us, and just being transparent about bottom rigs in general, I think is huge, because a 10-pound lead these days is what, $30, $40? Stupid.
Yeah.
It's no good. And we don't want that. That being said, some guys don't use a snap swivel.
Yep.
Okay. I like a snap swivel. Some guys, I like this, and again, with a piece of mono, some guys will take a piece of mono and create a loop. And
Yep.
yeah, and the loop, is it on here?
I believe so.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what they got here. You never know what you're going to get with these rigs, Nick.
Yeah, the loop's right there.
Okay, so long story short, let's see if we can get a loop. Okay, so here's a loop on a bottom rig. And honestly, this is a vermilion rig, right?
Yeah.
Ish. So some guys use a loop on the bottom of a rig. Overhand knot, double overhand knot, loop knot, whatever you tie, basically taking the loop, going inside the lead so they can change it, and that's their bottom rig, right? So when they're done with that one, or the current's too strong, they take that off, they pull it back around, and they change out their lead. I want to swivel on my lead. I want to pay out my lead. I don't know, I just feel more comfortable with a swivel. Do you?
I've done both. I still always end up going with the swivel for convenience of, sometimes that kind of gets hard to open, well, not open, unlasso off the lead. And
Right.
sometimes I go fishing with people that not everybody does this as often as we do, and
Yes.
that confuses them. Next thing you know, they cut the loop because they think that you tied it on, and
Right.
it's just, snap swivels are a little bit more self-explanatory.
One of the things that we used to do, because I had that issue, was a snap. Let's go and take this. We used to, and I hated it, but I did it because we had a guy that if we lost the lead, it was a real problem. We'd take, that was my safety. So I had the tie wrap.
Yep.
And then I didn't worry. You know what I mean? But and that, again, for you guys using smaller rigs, obviously I was using a smaller one. So, and clip it off.
Can't lose a lead that way.
You can't lose the lead that way. It's a little trick that we used to do. We used the tie wrap. 4 guys, again, some guys liked the loop, so you could just loop around the lead, but some guys liked the safety and they liked the ability for the rig to swivel. And that still gave you that.
Yep.
You follow me?
I do.
But it still gave you some sort of a tip or trick to be able to keep that lead at these astronomical frickin' prices of lead and everything in the economy right now. But I want you, lastly, and this has been really fun. I feel like over the last 3 or 4 films on deep dropping, they've been packed with really good information, whether it was the hook or the branch or the swivel or the lead or all these things we're talking about. And I want you to tell them the last, what you're, and I really love this that you did it.
My secrets. You're giving away my
I
secrets.
want you to give away a secret. I really do, man. You want to catch more bottom fish. He's a great bottom fisherman. He's a great deep drop fishing guy. So talk about what you came up with to not pull more fish off. So everybody who watched the first three is now going to get a really good way of, even if you're using this really sharp hook, how to not pull them off. Tell me what you do.
So we came up with this method because one day I was a little bit lazy and didn't want to change my LP spool from wahoo fishing to deep dropping.
Mm-hmm.
My wahoo spool, one of them had a 100-pound mono full of it. And we had one LP spool with braid, and the guy up on the bows dropping with the braid, and I was like, there's not much current. We're going to drop down the one with mono, throw a 10-pound lead instead of 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
We caught more fish on that rod than we did with the other ones. Now, you can't do that all the time because
Correct.
having 900 feet of 100-pound mono causes a lot of bow in the line. But what we started to do after that, we put about 100, 150 feet of 80-pound mono on top of the braid. And our hookup ratio and retrieval ratio went through the roof. The extra give, if you don't have a real spongy rod and you're 2 to 3 foot seas and the boat's rocking and every time you pull up it jerks on that hook even more, mono stretches 30%. And it's like a rubber band and it's laying off a lot of tension off jabbing that hook out of the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not traditional because people want braid.
Correct.
But it works good, real good.
I'm going to tell you something. When Nick said that to me, and I know that. We're in the braid era.
Yeah.
Everything's a transition out of mono. We got Art Sapp fishing braid on his kite rods now, the angler kite rod.
Yep.
We got braid for sword fishing. We got braid. This braid's stronger than that braid. Braid has changed the game. But if you think about this, it's unbelievable when you go. And I thought about when you said it, when we vermilion fish. Sometimes when we're really prepared for vermilion fishing, we use a braided rod.
Yep.
And we drop down and we get a couple bites and all of a sudden we fill the rig and you start winding it up and you got 2 when you had 5. Then we take a spinning rod, that was for the dolphin fishing, and we stick a vermilion rig on it, one of these rigs, on a spinning rod with mono.
Yep.
Throw that over, hit the bottom at 200 feet, and you're like, you don't see it. The rod doesn't even react almost because you got maybe a 2-pound lead.
Correct.
And then it's in the current a bit. Then all of a sudden, I just tell the customer to leave it there, and the rod doesn't do anything. You start winding, and it's like, oh my God! And the whole rig is filled on mono because, hey, you're not overreacting as an angler to what you see here. It's what we talk about in sword fishing. Are you better on the tip or the buoy? Me, I'll take the buoy because you're taking the human element out of it. What he's talking about is using that 100-pound or 80-pound shock absorber. That is allowing fish to eat the bait, come tight to the lead, fill the rig without you reacting as a human. And all of a sudden, mono becomes more effective at times with no current than braid ever will be. One of the best tips ever, dude. Crew members, keep that one to yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
It's a really good one. I've had more fun getting on people's boats, even my own boats, doing overnighters, sleeping in bean bags, going down, really dissecting hooks and rigs and leads and how to hook them and safeties and things that we do. To me, I've caught plenty of swords. And I've caught plenty of bottom fish growing up on the drift boat with the Helen S with my brother, but not to this level where guys like us are traveling, we're seeing people's techniques, they're allowing us on the boat to see it. And man, just having success and failures and picking up things, it's so exciting, man, to be able to do that. And I love bottom fish. I love bottom fish. And I mean, honestly, for me, that's where I started. Holding a rod, you know what I mean? and getting good at, yellowtail fishing and that kind of thing. But man, I gotta tell you, if you have any tips, tricks, or techniques that we're talking about, or something that's all like, I don't care if it's how to wrap a leader, things that you do that might be beneficial to the rest of the members on the platform. We'd love you to share them with us if you're okay with that, because at the end of the day, it's all about karma. You share, you get gifted in return. And that's a true statement. We love you. Till next time. Thank you.